The 11 a.m. advisory is out from the National Hurricane Center. The short story is there's more good news on the way. So as of the 11 a.m. advisory, we still have Category 4 storm Umberto. This was a Category 5 storm last night, dropped down in strength this morning because the system is undergoing what we call eye-roll replacement cycle. So that's temporarily dropped its strength, but actually we think it reached its peak strength last night. Now, we also don't have a tropical storm Imelda just yet. As of this 11 a.m. advisory, the National Hurricane Center still says we have Tropical Depression 9. So it hasn't gotten itself quite organized enough to become a tropical storm at the moment. Still continues to move extremely slowly towards the north, only moving at 7 miles per hour. So this will continue to do that as we go through the rest of the day today and as we head into Monday. Now, we still expect to have a tropical storm within the next 12 to 24 hours. So if you hear Tropical Storm Imelda form later tonight or early tomorrow morning, that's kind of right on par with the thinking that's been there for the last couple of days. It is still expected to become Hurricane Imelda by the time we get to maybe Tuesday or early Wednesday. But the good news with this track is the only major change that we've had from this morning to the 11 a.m. advisory has been the shift further towards the south and sharper towards the east. So now the National Hurricane Center continues to think that this is going to take a pretty steep turn towards the east, even further south than was expected before. This cone no longer includes any of the eastern U.S. and just continues to push further away from these states. So let's take a look at things that are certain at the moment. We continue to have tropical storm warnings in place for the Bahamas. We are expecting to see tropical storm force winds, heavy rains, and potentially some land and mudslides in the Bahamas within the next 24 hours. As we kind of take a look at the warning, so where tropical storm force conditions are possible, that exists for the eastern portion of the Florida Peninsula right now. But the National Hurricane Center does continue to kind of keep this cone away from them. This may potentially be higher chances for the storm surge or the dangerous rip current in that area, and less about the tropical storm force winds in that region. Outside of there, we don't have any other tropical storm watches or warnings. A continued good sign that this system is trending away from the coastal regions of the eastern U.S. Let's play it out on the spaghetti models. You can now see a very sharp turn in most of the spaghetti models. Just to give you some perspective, with the 8 a.m. update, these were trending the turn to be a little bit further towards the north. So continued good news in the way that these models are trending. Obviously, there's still some outliers that try to push this closer towards the eastern U.S., so we'll try to pay attention to this throughout the day today and throughout tomorrow, but it's becoming a bit more certain which direction this storm is headed. So let's play it out on the graph model here. Still very slow moving. So by the time we get to tomorrow morning, it's still just exiting the Bahamas. Again, this is when we could be seeing it become a tropical storm, if not a little earlier or a little later. As we play out through the day, Monday all the way into Tuesday morning, that's when it's going to be hanging out right off of the eastern coast of Florida here. Now, with the latest model thinking, it may not even really push any further towards the north than where it's sitting right now. We may just go ahead and start to go towards the east. Obviously, this does push some bands of rain up towards the coastal regions, the North, South Carolina coast, and the Georgia coast as well, but less rain than would have been the case if this system was pushing further towards the north. So playing this back out through about Wednesday, and we see the system pushing off further into the Atlantic. So rainfall is going to be really the thing that we'll pay attention to here for changes and fluctuations in rainfall. Some models do still maintain that there could be high rainfall totals along the coastal regions of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. You can see over 4 inches possible on the South Carolina coast, over 5 inches possible on the Georgia coast. That's something that continues to trend downward. So that's kind of one of the main factors that we should watch for changes with in the next couple of days. Here in central Georgia, we may have a couple of scattered showers, but I even think saying around ½ an inch may be overshooting it. We're expecting to have very minimal showers, overall very minimal impacts from this system at all, aside from having an increased breeze through the work week that actually will help drop our temperatures as we head into the second half of the week. So good news on the way with Tropical Depression 9, but as always, make sure to stay up to date with our 13 WMAZ weather team, and we will bring you the latest updates.